And welcome to Phuket Extra. Today we're coming to you from Surin Beach, trying to unravel the mystery of whether the restaurants and the clubs are going to remain here or not. That's a little bit later, but first, today's headlines. A man is offering 30,000 baht for tips to the identity of a madman motorist who intentionally rammed into him and his girlfriend on a motorbike in Pattaya. 32-year-old Kun Suksamran has shared security camera footage of the hit-and-run incident showing him trying to avoid a Toyota Vios that suddenly slammed on its brakes in front of him and shifted into reverse. After Madman drove around the Vios, the driver of the car sped up and tried to run the motorbike off the road. Well, Madman is saying that he's just left a restaurant with his girlfriend. He said that he saw a man behind the wheel and 2 female passengers. Well, nearly 3,000 people have been evacuated from their homes after Indonesia upgraded the threat posed by the volcanic Mount Sunabang, only 500 kilometres away from Phuket. It's been spewing hot ash, smoke and rock since Sunday. Lava is also visible from the crater. 2,730 residents from 4 villages have been evacuated. And Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha says that he's ready to remain in power for another 2 years to complete the national reforms. But he says he needs protection from criticism both inside and outside Thailand if his government is to continue running the country. The PM expected to be accused of wanting to extend his time in power. Well, next we speak to someone that has a rough idea of what's actually going on here at Surin Beach. We'll be back with Phuket Extra right after this.
We're surrounded by water, so teach kids the most important survival skill for their confidence and for their safety. Manta Kids is the swimming academy for babies and toddlers from 4 months to 6 years, and Manta Kids is the first Thailand registered school with Swim Australia. All the levels and all the skills your children will learn, the vital survival skills to be safe and enjoy their time around the water. Manta Kids, centrally located at Dara Hotel. Facebook.com/Manta Kids Phuket. Book now for a free trial class.
And welcome back to Phuket Extra with our slightly extended version of the news today, because we're trying to unravel what's happening down here at Surin Beach. And to discuss the matter, we have the executive editor of the Phuket News, the new executive editor, Chris Husted. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome.
Chris, nice and loud for us. Tell us what is happening. What's the latest at Surin Beach?
If you know, let us know, because no one seems to know. We called Madman, the head of the local authority down here, who's the man nearly a year ago issued demolition notices, and that came after the eviction notices. And this side of the beach, as we can all see down here, is all nice and clear and beautiful, and he's vowed to demolish those over there. But he's still waiting for his official approval from the governor. He told us yesterday he's requested an appointment with the governor, the vice governor heading the committee, and all the relevant authorities involved in this long saga to get permission to knock them down by the end of the rainy season, which will be by the end of October.
Has he put any dates? He said the end of October.
He said by the end of the rainy season, which is traditionally the end of October.
Okay. Now, what's the documentation like on all this? I mean, what contracts do these people have, and what authority does the Aubergeur or the government have to demolish them?
That's a brilliant question. I have yet to see any documentary evidence of the government's right to demolish them or the tenants' right to actually be there. Just none of that has been put in the public forum. It's all been quiet. We have been unable to get comments from the venue owners themselves. They just declined to comment, and the Madman hasn't come forward with his documentary evidence either to say, no, see, this is how it is and they're wrong. There has been one map produced from more than 10 years ago, which is very difficult to tell if that's still relevant.
What, a subdivision map or a...
It was a map drawn up by the municipality of this entire beachfront, stating what buildings were to be built where. There is the claim that they were built post-tsunami to help local residents regain a livelihood by operating businesses close to the beach. not on the beach. But exactly which venues or structures we're seeing here in front of us are those structures and which are not, no one can tell.
Is there an opportunity here for all these contractors and the workers and the authorities to get together? Because it all seems to be, they said this and they said that, but nobody's sort of talking. These people are trying to run their businesses, whether they're illegal or not, and the government's saying you've got to go, but nobody seems to be talking to each other.
Well, I'll clarify the point that whether the government says they've got to go. Right now, Madman says they've got to go. He says he's following the NCPO, the military
Which are the Royal Thai Navy here in Phuket.
Yep, he says they're following their order to the letter. And that seems to be the point that's disputed. If he did have support from the very top, as we've seen through here, Patong, everywhere else in the beach clearing over the past year, these guys wouldn't be here anymore.
Yeah.
So there is doubt thrown on how strong that support is to this extent. Obviously, very here it's all been cleared. But whether that directive extends to these businesses here is presumably what's at debate.
Do you think the public opinion, because there was a lot of public opinion, says no, we want these clubs, we like the clubs, the tourists like the clubs, probably a much stronger dissent from them than from the people that said no, we want our beautiful beaches back. Do you think that public opinion's had anything to do with the delays?
That's a good question. I'm not truly convinced. The people who stand to lose something are always more vocal.
Yeah.
So those people who really do enjoy the clean beach, once they saw the news that that was going to happen, what was for them to step forward and say anything about? So the public, all I can gauge is what the vocal part, and it's very difficult to tell.
Okay, and we should also say that we're sitting on two lovely chairs, courtesy of Zazada Beach Club, who are one of the well, probably the main beach club who's in the firing line. So I feel sorry for all these people because there just seems to be so much confusion. What would you do? What would you do? Just wake up each morning going, I don't know what's going to happen today.
Well, that's a great question too, because these clubs are built here to serve a need. If no demand, no supply. That is really simple. These clubs were wanted. Like any market, when there's oversupply, there's pruning. That's usually natural.
Yeah.
So these clubs were here to serve a people and a need and a want by tourists.
Yeah.
And how long do you keep going saying, well, what do I do in the future? Well, since it's the rainy season, the dip in tourist numbers, this next 6 months are going to be critical to see whether these business owners decide for themselves.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look at the beach now. I mean, it's early in the morning, but it's deserted.
Yes, I think and it's beautiful. But it's numbers that make businesses, that make a tourism industry.
Yeah.
You can go for the quality, but then the quality, the margins need to be there to support the number of staff who worked here.
Yes.
Or the other staff that you didn't see that supported these businesses. The households and the families and all that that relied on that income. So when people talk about quality tourism, that quality better be there, and it has to be shown in the prices and the revenues gained. It's not just about, well, we're just like a handful of high clientele. That can hurt a tourism industry as well.
Yeah.
So, crossroads, I believe.
Right, I'm not sure if I've answered any real fundamental questions, but that's the latest from a man who's been investigating it, following it, and a brand new Phuket news out today. Can I put you on the spot? What's on the front page?
Oh, BART bus. If you don't know what a BART bus is, in Pattaya there is a route, a circular route that these tuk-tuks go around.
Brilliant.
You jump on, you jump off,
10 baht.
You pay your minimum fare. We don't know what the fare is.
Okay.
We don't know where the route is yet. That hasn't been nailed down. But
are they bringing that to Phuket?
In Phuket town, what happened was, months ago, we had 87 tuk-tuk drivers kicked out of their patch at the bus station.
Yep.
And they didn't know where to go. So as a form of resolution, and I love this, hey guys, instead of putting you out of work, let's put you to good use, and let's put in something that the people have been waiting decades for in Phuket. Let's get a BART bus system in Phuket town. The reason why we put it on page 1, even though not everything's bolted down, you have these tuk-tuk drivers dipping into their own pockets to repaint and get their vehicles ready to provide this service. When they're doing that, it's a strong gut feel. Sooner or later, one form or another, it's going to go. And if that goes ahead in Phuket town, everyone's going to be looking over this side of the island.
Yeah, sure.
And saying, can we finally have a hop-on, hop-off cheap tuk-tuk service in Phuket?
A 10-second answer would have been fine, but thanks.
Oh, I love it.
Chris Husted, the new executive editor at the Phuket News, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And that's all for our extended version of Phuket Extra. Thanks for joining us. Back again on Monday.